Welcome to InvestorWeb, your reliable resource for understanding the often complex world of economics. Here at InvestorWeb, we strive to distill the intricacies of economic concepts into digestible tidbits, making them accessible and engaging for everyone. Today, we venture into the often shadowy yet undeniably fascinating realm of black market economics. It's a topic that's as intriguing as it is misunderstood. So, buckle up and prepare for an enlightening journey. Now let's delve into the fascinating world of black market economics. To comprehend black market economics first, it's crucial to understand what a black market is. In the simplest terms, a black market is a sector of the economy where transactions occur illegally or outside the view of the government. It's that shadowy realm where rules are bent, regulations are dodged, and taxes are avoided. But how does such a market come into existence? There are several driving forces behind the formation of black markets. First, we have high taxes. When taxes rise, people naturally look for ways to keep more of their money, and for some, the black market offers a solution. By trading goods and services under the table, they can avoid the taxman's grasp. Another factor is restrictive regulations. These are rules set by the government to control how businesses operate. But when these regulations become too burdensome, they can push people into the arms of the black market. For instance, if a government bans a product like alcohol during the American Prohibition era or imposes strict quotas on its sale, it can give rise to a black market where these goods are sold freely, albeit illegally. Lastly, we have shortages. When a product or service is scarce, whether due to natural disasters, wars, or simply high demand, a black market can step in to fill the gap. These markets can offer goods at inflated prices, capitalizing on desperate consumers who have nowhere else to turn. In essence, black markets are a response to market failures. They emerge when the official market, bound by rules and regulations, fails to meet the needs of the consumers. This leads to an underground economy operating in the shadows, away from the watchful eyes of the government. But remember, while black markets may provide short-term solutions, they come with long-term consequences. These underground economies can undermine legitimate businesses, disrupt economic stability, and even facilitate criminal activities. So black markets emerge when the official market fails to meet the needs of the consumers, leading to an underground economy. Black markets, while functioning outside the law, can have significant impacts on the official economy. Let's delve into how this occurs. Firstly, black markets can distort economic data. By operating in the shadows, these markets obscure the true size and health of an economy. For instance, a nation's gross domestic product, or GDP, is a measure of all goods and services produced within its borders. But with black market transactions going unrecorded, the GDP is understated, creating a skewed perception of the economy's actual performance. Next, black markets can create unfair competition. Legal businesses that pay taxes, adhere to regulations, and ensure fair wages and work conditions find themselves at a disadvantage. They're competing with black market operators who bypass these costs, able to sell goods and services at lower prices. This uneven playing field can lead to the closure of legitimate businesses, impacting employment rates and overall economic stability. Then there's the issue of lost tax revenue. Governments rely on taxes to fund public services like education, healthcare, and infrastructure. But in the black market, transactions often go untaxed, leading to significant revenue losses. This can result in budget shortfalls, forcing governments to either cut public services or increase taxes, both of which can negatively affect the economy. However, it's not all doom and gloom. Black markets can also provide goods and services that are inaccessible through legal means. In countries with restrictive regimes or during times of crisis, black markets can offer essential items from food to medicine. They can also spur innovation, pushing boundaries in industries where regulation may be stifling. So, while they may be seen as a shadowy underbelly, black markets are not entirely without merit. They serve as a testament to the ingenuity and resilience of people, even in the face of adversity. Black markets, therefore, hold a paradoxical position, both harmful and beneficial to the economy. Black markets are not just about illicit drugs or weapons. They can encompass a surprising range of goods and services. Let's delve into some examples to paint a clearer picture. A key player in the black market world is counterfeit goods. Walk down any busy main street in a bustling city, and you'll likely come across a vendor selling knockoff designer handbags or imitation luxury watches. The global counterfeit goods market is estimated to be worth a staggering $500 billion a year. This isn't just a case of harmless imitation, but a significant drain on the world economy and a potential danger to consumers with substandard and unregulated products. Moving on to a darker corner of the black market, we find the illegal wildlife trade. This involves the capture, trafficking, and sale of protected species. From ivory to exotic pets, this market is driven by high demand and promises of lucrative returns. The World Wildlife Fund estimates that this trade is worth between $10 to $20 billion annually, causing devastating impacts on biodiversity and threatening endangered species. But the black market isn't limited to goods alone. Services, too, fall prey to this underground economy. One such example is the horrifying trade in human organs. Driven by desperation and disparity in wealth and healthcare, this market thrives in the shadows. While exact figures are hard to come by, the World Health Organization estimates that approximately 10% of all organ transplants worldwide are conducted illegally. Not all black markets, however, are so sinister. Consider street vendors in countries where they are not legally recognized. These vendors provide essential goods and services, often to underserved communities. Yet because they operate outside formal economic structures, they're technically part of the black market. In cities around the world, these informal economies can account for a sizable chunk of urban employment and output, contributing significantly to local economies. Finally, consider digital black markets, where cybercriminals trade in illegal goods and services, from stolen credit card information to hacking tools. This new age black market has grown exponentially with the rise of the internet, causing significant financial losses and security threats worldwide. As you can see, black markets are as diverse as they are complex. Whether they trade in counterfeit watches or endangered species, these markets exist in the shadows, operating outside of legal and regulatory oversight, and pose significant economic, social, and environmental challenges. So how can governments and societies effectively combat black market activity? It's a complex question, but let's break it down into manageable pieces. Firstly, reducing regulations can be a powerful tool. Often black markets arise to bypass overbearing or unnecessary rules. By simplifying and streamlining regulations, we can make it easier for businesses to operate legally, thereby reducing the appeal of the black market. Secondly, adjusting tax rates can prove effective. High taxes can push people towards the black market to save money. A careful balance must be struck, lowering taxes enough to deter black market activity without sacrificing necessary public revenue. Thirdly, improving law enforcement is crucial. Strengthening the capacity of law enforcement agencies to detect and prosecute black market activities can serve as a strong deterrent. This doesn't simply mean stricter punishments, but more effective enforcement of existing laws. However, these strategies are not sufficient on their own. Public awareness and responsible consumer behavior play key roles in combating black markets. After all, these markets thrive on demand. If consumers are informed about the dangers and negative impacts of the black market and choose to act responsibly, demand for these illicit goods and services can decrease. Education campaigns can be instrumental in this regard, informing the public about the true cost of black market goods, not just in monetary terms, but in terms of social impact, safety risks, and economic damage. Moreover, promoting ethical consumption and corporate responsibility can further undermine black markets. If businesses are held accountable for their supply chains and consumers choose to support those who source their goods and services ethically, the black market loses its foothold. In essence, combating black market activity requires a comprehensive, multifaceted approach. It's not just about law enforcement or economic policy, but about creating a society where black markets cannot thrive. Ultimately, the most effective way to combat black markets is to address the underlying economic issues that give rise to them. By fostering economic stability, fairness, and opportunity, we can create an environment where black markets simply have no place. Black market economics is a complex and multifaceted topic, with far-reaching implications for our global economy. We've delved into the depths of this subject, shedding light on its many aspects. We've learned that black markets emerge when legal markets fail to satisfy consumer needs, whether due to scarcity, prohibitive costs, or regulatory restrictions. We've also seen how these underground markets can impact economies both negatively and positively. On one hand, they can undermine legal economies, evade taxes, and fuel illicit activities. On the other, they can also provide goods and services to those who might otherwise not have access to them, acting as a safety net. Moreover, we've considered various strategies to combat black market activity, from stricter enforcement and penalties to more innovative approaches like market liberalization and decriminalization. Thank you for joining us today on Investor Web. Remember to subscribe for more insightful discussions on economics. Until next time, keep investing in your economic understanding.